What if I told you that everything you know about Marvel's universe is only one branch of an infinite tree? That every story, every choice, every battle creates another universe, another possibility, another world. That's the terrifying, beautiful truth of the multiverse. And Marvel has been exploring it for decades. Long before the MCU introduced Kang, Loki, and the multiversal war, Marvel Comics had already plunged deep into infinite realities, where heroes become villains and destinies flip upside down. But here's the secret. The way Marvel Comics built its multiverse is not the same as the way the MCU is unfolding it. And understanding those differences could change everything. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe. Because what you're about to hear isn't just a story. It's the foundation of the Multiverse Saga itself. The story begins in the comics. Back in the 1960s, when Marvel was still shaping its identity, creators like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby realized something. Superhero stories thrive on what-ifs. What if Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four? What if Jane Foster became Thor? What if the Avengers had never formed? These questions birthed the iconic what-if comics. And with them, the idea that Marvel didn't have just one universe, but an entire multiverse. Each what-if wasn't just a fun side story. It was a doorway, a glimpse into another reality where the rules were different. Over time, this playful experiment became something bigger, something cosmic. The multiverse wasn't just background flavor. It was central to Marvel's mythology. In the comics, the multiverse is infinite. Each universe is given a designation. Our main continuity, the one most readers know, is Earth 616. But alongside it exist countless others. Like Earth 1610, the ultimate universe, where heroes were reimagined for a modern era. Or Earth 65, where Gwen Stacy became Spider-Woman. And of course, Earth 2149, the terrifying Marvel Zombies universe. The multiverse gave writers the freedom to explore wild new stories without breaking the core timeline. But it also planted the seeds for conflict. Because if infinite universes exist, what happens when they collide? That question exploded in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, 2015. This wasn't the first Secret Wars, but it was the most ambitious. The multiverse itself was collapsing, universes smashing together in destructive events called incursions. And when two Earths collided, only one survived. It was apocalyptic. It was brutal. And it was Marvel's first true exploration of the multiverse, not as possibility, but as threat. Heroes fought to save their universes, but reality itself crumbled. Dr. Doom seized godlike power. And from the ashes, Marvel rebuilt its multiverse into something new. This was the comic blueprint for a story of infinite war, impossible choices, and cosmic stakes. Now let's jump to the MCU. At first, the Marvel Cinematic Universe avoided the multiverse entirely. The Infinity Saga was grounded in a single timeline. One story, one set of heroes. But with Doctor Strange, 2016, we got the first hint. The Ancient One spoke of realities beyond our own. Different dimensions, different truths. Still, the MCU held back. Until Avengers, Endgame. The time heist wasn't just about stones. It was about branches. About creating new timelines. And suddenly, the multiverse wasn't just a theory. It was real. From there, it exploded. Loki introduced the TVA and the concept of a sacred timeline. What if? Animated Marvel's own multiverse of possibilities. And Spider-Man, No Way Home shattered the barriers, pulling heroes from other universes into the MCU. Finally, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness showed us just how dangerous these collisions could be. The MCU's version of the multiverse isn't just infinite possibility. It's a brewing war. A war led by Kang the Conqueror. And here's the twist. Marvel Comics never had a single Kang dominate the multiverse like this. That's something the MCU is doing differently, and it changes the entire game. But here's the cliffhanger. The comics explored incursions, secret wars, and Doom's godhood. The MCU is building towards something similar, but with Kang at the center instead of Doom. So the real question is this. Will the MCU stay true to the comic blueprint? Or are we heading into something even darker? Because if the MCU follows Hickman's roadmap, then every universe we've seen, every Spider-Man, every variant, every branch, is destined for collapse. And when that collapse comes, only one universe will survive. That's where the war begins. The multiverse is not a playground. It's a battlefield. And when you have infinite universes colliding, someone always loses. In Marvel Comics, this war wasn't just metaphorical. It was literal. Universes were dying. And the gods, the heroes, the villains, no one was safe. It all started with incursions. A terrifying phenomenon where two universes would collide, anchored by their Earths. If one Earth was destroyed, both universes could be spared. But if neither was destroyed, both were erased. Imagine that choice. Kill a planet to save billions of realities. Or hesitate and let everything burn. This became the core of Hickman's saga. Heroes like the Illuminati, Iron Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic were forced into impossible decisions. And here's the shocking part. Sometimes, they chose to destroy. These weren't alternate versions of the Illuminati. These were the heroes we knew. Our heroes. Blowing up entire worlds to save their own. It was morality twisted to the breaking point. And it changed how fans saw them forever. But the real escalation came when Dr. Doom entered the picture. Using the power of the Molecule Man, Doom manipulated the multiverse collapse. And when all universes finally burned away, he took what remained and forged a new world. Battleworld. A Frankenstein patchwork planet made from the pieces of destroyed realities. The X-Men, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, all trapped together. All living under the rule of God Emperor Doom. This wasn't just a war for survival anymore. It was a war against a god. And when the final battle came, only a few heroes stood against him. Reed Richards, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. The clash was legendary. Reed used Doom's own stolen power against him. And when the dust settled, the multiverse was reborn. Marvel reset its continuity. The Ultimate Universe was gone. The multiverse was streamlined. And for a while stable. Now let's compare that to the MCU. The seeds of incursions are already planted. In Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we're told that Stephen's meddling with realities risks incursions. And we saw firsthand what an incursion looks like. Two universes colliding, one bleeding into the other. That's the exact blueprint from Hickman's comics. But instead of Doom pulling the strings, the MCU has Kang. Or more accurately, the Council of Kangs. We saw them in the Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania post-credit scene. A gathering of Kangs from across the multiverse. Each one with his own agenda. Each one preparing for war. This is the MCU's version of the multiverse war. Not just incursions, but Kangs battling for dominance. And this is where things get terrifying. Because unlike Doom, Kang doesn't want to rebuild the multiverse. He wants to conquer it. Think about what that means. In the comics, Doom reshaped reality into a God-King empire. But in the MCU, Kang may do something worse. He may wipe out entire timelines just to secure one. The sacred timeline. His timeline. And every hero we know, from the Avengers to the Fantastic Four to the X-Men, will be caught in the crossfire. The MCU has already teased this through the Loki series. The TVA pruned timelines to prevent a multiversal war. But once He Who Remains was killed, everything fractured. The branches grew. And now, the war is inevitable. Here's the hook. The war of infinite realities isn't just coming. It's already started. The moment Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland shared the screen. The moment Strange walked through a universe where people were made of paint. The moment Kang revealed there are countless versions of himself. That was the start of Marvel's battle for the multiverse. And the question is no longer if it collapses. It's when. But this war won't end the way fans expect. Because in the comics, the savior wasn't Iron Man. It wasn't Captain America. It wasn't even Strange. It was Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. And here's the kicker. The Fantastic Four are about to debut in the MCU. Could Marvel be hiding its true endgame? Could the final showdown of the Multiverse Saga mirror Hickman's Secret Wars, with Reed Richards stepping up against Kang? Or maybe even Doom himself? The MCU might be building toward a twist that no one sees coming. And if they combine the comic storyline with their own Kang-focused arc, we could be heading toward the most devastating Marvel event of all time. Because in the end, only one universe survives. Which one will it be? The Multiverse Saga isn't just a story. It's Marvel's biggest gamble. Because when you tear apart infinite realities, you can't put them back together without cost. And in both the comics and the MCU, that cost is devastating. In the comics, after the collapse of everything, Marvel rebuilt with a single goal: streamlining. Characters like Miles Morales, originally from the Ultimate Universe, were folded into the main continuity. Fan favorites survived. Others didn't. It was brutal, but it allowed Marvel to hit a reset button. To clean up decades of confusing storylines. To give readers a fresh start. Now imagine the MCU doing the same. Think about it. The franchise has been running since 2008. Over a decade of films. Some heroes are dead. Some actors are done. Some franchises feel messy. What better way to move forward than with a soft reset? The Multiverse Saga lets Marvel do exactly that. It lets them merge, cut, or reboot characters however they want. That means we could see X-Men officially joining the MCU. We could see Deadpool crossing into the main timeline. We could see alternate Avengers, variants of Iron Man, Black Widow, or even Steve Rogers. But it also means someone won't make it through. The big question is, who dies when universes collide? In Hickman's Secret Wars, the sacrifices were massive. Heroes fought other versions of themselves. Villains claimed godhood. And in the end, only a few walked away. The MCU has already started foreshadowing this. Look at Doctor Strange. We've seen countless versions of him: Defender Strange, Sinister Strange, Supreme Strange. Each one showing us a different path, a different cost. And let's not forget what Kang said in Quantumania. If you think I'm evil, wait until you meet my variants. That wasn't just a threat. It was a warning. The final battle could pit not just heroes against villains, but heroes against themselves. Iron Man against Iron Man. Thor against Thor. Maybe even Spider-Man against Spider-Man, with only one left standing. But here's the ultimate twist. The Multiverse Saga isn't really about Kang. It's about Doom. Yes, Kang is the face of the threat. But in the comics, Doom was the final boss. And with the Fantastic Four movie confirmed for Phase 6, Doom is coming. Marvel could be playing the long game. Kang's word destabilizes everything. The Avengers and variants fight to hold the multiverse together. And in the chaos, Dr. Doom rises. He seizes power, just like in the comics. He becomes the god of Battle World. And suddenly, Kang looks like a stepping stone, not the endgame. Now, what happens after? That's where Marvel's future truly begins. The Multiverse Saga could end with a single, streamlined universe. A new, prime MCU, where only the strongest stories survive. Imagine an MCU where mutants have always existed. Where Deadpool was always there, breaking the fourth wall. Where Miles Morales swings alongside Peter Parker. Where Doom reigns as the ultimate villain. It's the perfect setup for the next decade of Marvel storytelling. And here's the haunting part. The tagline of Hickman's saga was simple: everything dies. That's not just a warning for the comics. That's Marvel's warning for us. The heroes we've loved for years, their worlds may end. But out of that destruction, a new era will rise. So the real question isn't whether the MCU survives the Multiverse Saga. It's what form it takes when the dust settles. Will the Avengers still exist? Will the X-Men take the spotlight? Will Dr. Doom hold the universe in his fist? One thing is certain. The Multiverse Saga won't just change Marvel's movies. It will change the MCU forever. And when it does, we'll all be left asking, what world are we living in now?